Welcome, YouTube friends and family, to today's edition of the Wellness Homesteader. So, for those of us who like to preserve food, or grow and preserve food, we all have our favorite recipes. And today, I'm going to share with you a recipe that I've been canning for 42 years, and it was the first thing I ever canned. This year, I've been able to home grow many of the ingredients. So what is it? I hope you'll stay tuned to find out. Many years ago, when I was a newlywed at age 20, I worked with a lady who did a lot of gardening and was probably getting close to 70, and she made and brought in a pickle relish. I do like pickles, but I had no experience with canning anything. And she said, "Oh, it's so simple, you must try it." So this is called a cucumber pepper relish. Y'all, it's so good. It's good on a burger, on a vegetarian burger, bean burger, hot dogs. I use it a lot in like a egg salad, tuna salad, chicken salad, that type of thing. It is sweet. It is not spicy, but it's extremely flavorful. And I can also share, it's good to just kind of clear your palate and put a little dollop on your dish, perfect for summer eating. So what do we need? First, let me share with you all. I have no idea whether this would be an USDA approved recipe or not, like if there's something that aligns with it or that's very similar to it. I'm really not sure. All I know is this came from Miss Margie, which I'm sure, my goodness, after 42 years, she is long gone to meet her maker. So what we need is 6 cups of chopped green pepper. Y'all, feel like Misfits Market. This one tried to grow another little pepper off the side of it, but these are my homegrown sweet peppers. You need 6 cups of cucumber, my homegrown cucumber, 2.5 cups of onion. Now, although I grew and freeze-dried my own onion, I am actually going to use some Vidalia onions that I have because I think it makes a little bit better relish, but you could use, white onions, yellow onions, or sweet Vidalia onions. We will be making a syrup of apple cider vinegar, sugar, salt, mustard seed, celery seed, but we'll get to that a little bit later in the video. So the first thing that we need to do is we need to prep all of our ingredients. Excuse the hand. So I do have my food processor. I have a Cuisinart, and y'all, I always try to link everything that I can. So hopefully I can find this on Amazon for you. Now I'm gonna have the hiccups. What you can do if you don't have a food processor is you can use a mandolin, but what you're looking for is very, very thin slices. So what I'm going to do is, everything's been well washed. I'm going to de-seed my peppers, feed them through on the slicing option. I will peel my cucumbers, do the same thing. Peel my onions, do the same thing. So again, 6 cups of peppers, 6 cups of cucumber, 2.5 cups of onion. Now I have 5 peppers here. I'm not sure it's gonna make 6 cups, but it should be pretty close. If not, we'll take a little jaunt out in the garden and see if we can find some. Today, you all, finally, let's all say a prayer. We're supposed to get some rain. And it looks like on the radar, it's going to be significant. So I didn't water the garden this morning. So y'all, let's cross our fingers. I'm letting the girls play outside a little bit this morning out in the yard, but once it starts raining, I like for them to stay in the run because I'm always afraid they'll get struck by lightning or something will scare them and they'll fly away. And chickens really don't fly, but sometimes they can catch air and do more than you think. All right, I'm gonna get prepping. I will bring you back and show you what the shredded vegetables look like. And I don't use like a shredder thing. Take it, what is that thing called? You know, one of these things. Because the food processor is just so much faster, and it also cuts a little bit more evenly because it's not relying on my pressure to hand shred that with a shredder. All right, stay tuned. Well, y'all, right now we're probably shouting, box grader, box grader. I don't know what's going on with me, guys. I'm still getting back to normal. So yes, you can slice your peppers on a box grater. I like them better that way than shredded, like truly shredded. So what I did was I sliced, and if you have a food processor, you want to put the sharp side of the slicing up, and that will make very thin slices of bell pepper. Then I did about 1/3 of the cucumber on the slice. Then I flipped the blade over so that the shred blades were up, shredded the rest of the cucumber, and I also shredded the onion. Y'all, it doesn't really matter. It's kind of your preference. It's still going to process the same. You just want your pieces to be fairly even. In other words, they're going to cook evenly, they're going to process all the way through, and it shouldn't be any problem to mix up the slice and dice a little bit. I like some of the cucumbers a little bit bigger, but I don't really like the onion bigger. I like it more shredded because it gets the flavor throughout a little bit better. So, hope that was helpful. I'm gonna clean this up. We have in our pot here all of our delicious goodness. So 6 cups of green pepper, 6 cups of onion, and 2.5 cups, and I used Vidalia onions. And then we're going to go ahead and start making our brine, if you will. And this needs to cook for about 30 minutes. Now, if you're all wondering what on earth's wrong with your pot, guys, this is an old pot. It's stained, it's not dirty. So I'm gonna red up the kitchen. I'll bring you back. We'll start making the brine and making some relatively easy and very delicious cucumber pepper relish. Stay tuned. All right, so step 1, now that we have all of our veg prepared, is we are going to add 2 cups of apple cider vinegar. And we are going to simmer this over like a medium heat for 30 minutes. Then we're going to drain our vegetables, and then we will be adding our spices and all of the deliciousness back, along with 2 more cups of apple cider vinegar. And I need to put that on my shopping list. Okay, so let me try to give you a little quick peek at what it looks like. It looks so good, and it smells amazing because I picked the vegetables fresh, some yesterday, some today. So yeah, I think we're ready to go over medium heat for our 30 minutes. I will bring you back at the end of that time once I had the vegetables drained, returned to the pot, and then we'll talk about the spices that we're going to add, the sugar, and the additional vinegar. Stay tuned. Well, y'all, I don't know if you can see, but it's getting ready to rain. And just quick glimpse at all my beautiful blooms and blossoms that are happening. This is just loaded. This is a pink lily, and I just deadheaded my roses. And as you see, there's a honeybee right there on my liatris. So yes, I'm waiting on the mail person. Y'all, when I came back in the house from getting the mail, oh my word, does it ever smell amazing in here. I realized I didn't mention to you why you use the vinegar for 30 minutes and simmer your ingredients, then dump that off. You're actually going to be extracting a lot of the excess water so that your pickle relish is very flavorful. So back to the pot, we are going to add 2 more cups, or 2 new cups. So it is drained. Did I show it to you? Yeah. Gonna add 2 cups of apple cider vinegar, 2 cups of sugar, and then in this container I have 2 tablespoons of, I'm using pickling salt. The original recipe called for kosher salt. 2 tablespoons of mustard seed. You could use yellow or brown. I'm using Anthony's organic brown mustard seed, and then celery seed, a teaspoon. So I'm just going to sprinkle that in. Now we're going to return this back to the heat for 5 minutes. The reason we're going back in the heat, of course, is to get that sugar to dissolve. You might, a little vinegar facial there. You might be able to hear in the background, the water bath canner is coming up to temperature. And I've already washed the jars. They're in the water bath canner. As soon as this finishes its 5 minutes, I'll bring you back. We'll get to jarring up. All right, y'all, I just pulled 2 very hot jars out of the canner. And wait till you see how pretty this is. It's supposed to make 4.5 pints. I am going to store this in wide mouth jars. And one of the things you do have to kind of pay attention to is that your liquid is pretty even, because you don't want to have like all, whew, that is hot, all relish and no juice, because the juice is part of what makes it really good. I did taste this, y'all. It's fabulous. And even though I've made it many times, it never hurts to taste your product before you jar it up, because once it's processed, you can't change it up. So I still soak my lids. It's not a requirement, but ouch, I still do. So another thing that's very important is make sure that you do debubble, because this is a little bit thicker of a relish and you don't want to have air bubbles in your jar. Also, I didn't specify. It calls for a 1/2 inch headspace, and y'all, I'm leaving just a little bit more than that. It's just the way I've always done it. Yeah, it's probably 1/2 inch, give or take. Let's see. Well, I can't even read. Okay. Yeah, it's about a 1/2 inch headspace. So we're going into the canner. Now, if you're at 1,000 feet or below, the processing time is 10 minutes. If you are above 1,000 feet, and I am, add the additional time. So let me get the rest of these jarred up. I'll let you know how much we got. We'll start processing. All right, 5 pints. One is maybe just a 3/4 inch head space. And I have my Ball Fresh Tech electric canner. I'm going to put the top, if you will, in, and then the top on. Now, once it comes up to a full rolling boil, I will then set the timer. For my altitude, I'm going to do 15 minutes, and then I will turn it off, pull the lid, let it set for 10. You can let it set 5 or 10 minutes, and then we'll pull them out, and I'll give you some final thoughts. Y'all, we have some really gorgeous cucumber, pepper, relish. Y'all, I really encourage you, even if you're new to canning, give this recipe a try. It is so tasty and so delicious. As always, not USDA approved or not a recipe from the USDA. Always do your own research, but I feel it's more than safe with the high level of sugar as well as vinegar. It's sweet, it's tangy, it's a little bit salty, and it's a little bit spicy with the mustard, but full of rich flavor. I think you'll really enjoy it. I'm hoping to be back on a regular schedule this week, y'all. But again, I'm gonna reserve the right to change things as I need to. If you're new to my channel, normally I have videos Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday at 4 a.m. Eastern is when they post. So I hope you'll join me later in the week for some more probably harvest fun. And I wanted to share with you all, not only has it been raining, Miss Violet has been in the laying box singing the egg song. So fingers crossed, guys, that maybe she's unbroken and back to laying a little bit for me. I'll see y'all very soon. Do me a favor if you would, smash that like button. Don't forget to leave me a comment. What do you think about this pickle relish? Is it something you might like to try? Until I see you again, be well, be healthy, be blessed. Take care.